Hello there, I'm Kevin Wilcock. This is a short film, an insight to what goes on behind the scenes in Robertson Lancing, or should I say Robert Stoneware now. What I get up to, making the moulds, designing stuff, sculpting, and so on. Okay, so this is the workshop, looking at its normal mess. A few bits of ornaments kicking about. There's some moulds made there, ready for having the cases made for them. Some gnomes in the background. Vacuum pump to take the air bubbles out the rubber. A few ornaments there, ready to have moulds made of. Old lady on the seat. There's a shy girl, which I'm going to be working on and showing you a bit of what I'm doing on it. Buddhas, Celtic crosses, whoops, and laughing gnomes, dolphins, yep, they're all here. And here's some of my other tools, all lined up, ready for my mixing. There's the two-part rubbers, weighing scales to get the proportions right, knock it up in the bucket. Some other bits on me. What's under here? Oh, samurai sword holder. One of my projects I'm still working on and pushing forward at the moment. Okay, we'll begin. What I'm doing here is I've got a shy girl, model of a shy girl, as you can see in the picture. It's travelled a long way. It's been a bit damaged, so I'm mending it. I've got some plaster here, which I've filled the cracks with, wet and dry, and some water, rubbing it down nice and smooth, ready to go. Nice and smooth, dip it in the water, rub it over. My Uncle Stan taught me that one. He taught me a lot of things actually about mould making. And I think that's about right, and I'm going to get it prepared now to make a rubber casing so we can reproduce it in concrete. Just placing the clay around the side. On the right hand side you can see it here, I've packed it all out, putting a layer of clay around and smoothing it off, ready to separate the rubber. Using the trowel now, get it nice and flat. Okay, what I'm doing now, I'm running some cable around the side, pushing it into the clay, and when this goes off, it's going to act as a nice guideline. It's like a key for the rubber, and leave a nice rounded groove in the rubber for it to lock in to the other section. A little technique I thought of myself. Tried it once and it worked, so I'm trying it again. Go all the way around with it. going. And I just run it off in the corner, so I don't want to cut it off because it's a nice long length and it's going to do for other ornaments later. And that is ready to be coated with rubber, which I'll be getting on with next. Different, it's a silicone addition cure rubber, and I'm just going to pour it over it, and it's going to be the first coat, and then I'm going to leave it to go off, and then I'm going to put a couple more coats on as we go along. And just going to get the brush. And here we go. Slap it on there, and it will run everywhere and find its own bed. Don't use too much of this stuff on the first coat when it's thin, because it will run off to the lowest point and make a puddle somewhere, and that'll be it. You lose half the rubber. Keep this first coat nice and thin, and then I'm going to use Fix-A-Tropic, thicken it up a bit for the other coats, maybe another second thin coat, and then thicken it up and lose all the undercuts in the mould. Okay then, so the model's had 2 coats of rubber now, so what I'm going to do now is, I don't know whether you can see here in the deep undercuts here, I'm going to fill with some thicker rubber, and under here, so when the moulding casing comes off, it comes clean off and doesn't get snagged underneath anything. Okay then, so what I've done, I've knocked up the rubber, I've put a Fix-A-Tropic in. I hope you can see that there. And it's like ice cream, it's stodgy, it's so you can basically spread the rubber around like butter, nice and thick, and get into all them awkward places without it running away. So here we go. All them undercuts can get done now. You can't get it absolutely smooth, so what I do, I just get it on there, get it the best I can, and then I give everything another thin coat of rubber over the top to sort of smooth it over, because it's sort of sticky, gooey stuff, this, and becomes quite awkward. So you can see I'm up to, I go all the way around the model like this. Any deep cuts, I just fill them like this, and I know that the moulding case, the mother mould, is not going to get snagged underneath these deep undercuts. I'm just knocking up some thinner rubber here, and I'm going to spread that all over very lightly so I don't disturb the rubber I've just put on, and it smooths it all over a bit, otherwise you get this sort of sharp edges on the rubber. Okay then, so it's been filled, all the undercuts have been filled, it's had a thin coat of rubber, and now I'm going to make a plaster mother case for it, supporting case to support the rubber, and then the whole thing gets flipped over and the process is repeated the other side. See, this all right. I've covered the rubber I've put on with polythene and some wire mesh, and that's like a reinforcing, and I'm going to knock up some sand and cement, real strong mix. I even put plaster in it myself as well, and it makes it a little bit lighter, and that's going to be the support case for the mould. So what I've done now, I've knocked up some sand cement with some plaster in, and I've spread it all over the mould evenly over the rubber. This is going to be the supporting case, give you a rough idea what's going on. And it'll all be self-explanatory when the second half of the mould's made, and I'll take the whole lot apart. Right, so what we have here now, I've taken the casing apart, and you can see the 2 pieces of the rubber, and when they're sandwiched back together, interlocking into this groove, and the casing on to support it, I shall fill it with concrete and reproduce the model, which I will be showing you later. So the mould's been filled up with concrete now, and I'm going to release it and have a look at the finished result. And there we have this shy girl fully released from the mould, and I'm just going to clean up the edges and get her ready for sale. And there we have it, the finished product, all finished, stained and ready to go to market.